Well, there you go.
Hello.
All right. Hello, everyone. We are here. We're going to talk about episode 4 of The Bad Batch, season 2,
Faster.
called Faster. This was definitely Tech's episode. All
It
right.
was his
So,
moment.
yes, we're going to talk about it. So, thank you very much for joining us tonight. I am Kerwin. This is Keith. We are
If you
Father
didn't
Son
already know.
Galaxy. All right. Well, you never know because we may have new people watching us. All right. So,
I know.
yeah. Okay. So thank you,
I'm
everyone.
aware.
So let's get into it. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk about episode 4, and then when we're done with episode 4, we're going to talk a little bit about that trailer that dropped a couple of days ago. All right. That one. Okay. Mandalorian. All right. We're going to
Yeah.
talk about that. Okay.
The Mandalorian.
All
I
right.
wore these for a reason.
Okay. Good. We're ready to go. All right. So, excuse me. So from episode 4, it's titled Faster. We came up with 3 takeaways for this episode. All right. So we're going to start with the first one that we've noticed. Number 1, the Bad Batch has clearly reached their limits with Sid. I think they're at a point now where they're kind of getting tired of working for Sid.
Because he sends them all these boring missions.
Yes.
And it's just pointless.
Mhm.
And more importantly, they don't get paid a fair cut. Because Sid walks away with 70% of the profits. They get 30, which means even if they pull in a big haul, they're not getting that much money back.
Right. Yeah. And clearly you could see it on Tech's face. Well, actually, something I noticed, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but this is the first time that we've seen the batch separated, right? Because usually either you see them all together in one episode or you don't see them at all in an episode.
They've been split up on missions.
Well, split up on missions, right? But this is the first time that we have not seen the entire batch in the episode.
Like, it was kind of awkward, but I enjoyed the dynamics of Tech, Wrecker, and Omega.
No, absolutely. And of course, this all has to do with getting to know more about Tech, his character development.
Echo and Hunter were delivering Nerf nuggets. So,
yeah, right. So exactly, so
see, that's what I mean. Pointless missions.
Pointless, absolutely. They have invaluable skills, but they're transporting food for Sid's parlor. Okay, all right. And then Tech did mention that this is not the proper use of their skill set. Sid says, yeah, come on, well, I got another mission for you. So she sends them on another mission, and you saw this look on Tech's face. He just went, he just had this sigh, like, not again.
Oh,
right. Okay, so the mission is, so they go to this planet called Safa Toma. All right. And Safa Toma apparently is a place where they have riot races.
Right. And it reminded me of pod racing, because that's what I thought when I first saw it.
Okay.
But it's not, apparently.
Well, so when we saw it, of course, the first reminder is of the pod racing in Tatooine. Right, exactly. In the Phantom Menace, that came to mind, obviously. So Sid has a droid that she bets on a regular basis. She likes to bet.
Of course she does, and she loses a lot of money for it.
Well,
which is why the bats have to help her.
Right, exactly. So she needed some muscle, right? She referred to Wrecker. All right. So she approaches the driver. The driver happens to be a droid, all right, named TAY-O. Okay. So of course, Tech notices immediately, oh, your driver's a droid. And we know the relationship between clones and droids. They don't get along. This driver.
They have Gonki.
Well, this driver.
And they used to have AZ3.
Okay.
And now he works for Sid.
Good point. Well, this driver, voiced by Ben Schwartz, he's a good character actor. I've seen him in a few things. I don't know if you have, but so he voices TAY-O, and he comes off as being very arrogant.
Brash.
Yes, brash. Tech is trying to talk to him and, help him to win.
Like, oh, you silly human.
Right. Help him to win this race. Tech is analyzing the track, as to how long the track is, how fast you have to go. And he's trying to give this droid advice, and it's not working. This droid is not listening at all. He speaks in the first person, which was interesting. He calls, TAY-O's doing this and TAY-O's doing that, right? So then we looked at some of the other things that I noticed when you're on the track, the Safa Toma track or race track, is very dangerous, right? Very dangerous, right? You see, you have they can use blaster fire if they want to, and you got to make sure that those spectators in the stands have to duck sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So they don't
and sometimes they don't duck in time, so bye.
Yeah, right. Exactly right. So you gotta be quick. When you get those blaster fires, it's they're not aiming for you, but you just want to make sure that you're just not.
You just want to you want to stop, drop, and roll before you actually get hit.
Right. And there's a disclaimer that the announcer makes that this track is not responsible for anything that happens to anybody in the stands. All right.
And then someone gets shot with a blaster bolt.
Yes, right. That's what happens. All right. Number 2 takeaway.
Mm-hmm.
As we talked about, this is Tech's story. Tech is now taking on a leadership role.
Mm-hmm. Which is nice because I feel like characters like Tech and Echo, they kind of got put on the back burner last season. And even Wrecker too. Because I feel like it was mainly Crosshair and then Hunter and Omega. Those were the main front runners of the first season. Mm-hmm. So now everyone else is kind of getting their dues so that they can have their own shot in the episodes.
Right.
By the way, guys, you got any comments or questions? This is a free space. You can put them in the chat and we'll acknowledge them. So if you have anything else, let us know.
Yeah, absolutely. So, of course, if you see the episode, chime in. What do you think of the episode? If you have any questions, just drop them in the comments section, okay? Yeah. All right. So then once again, so what happens the first time? So TAY-O runs the race. He gets involved in an accident, right? He doesn't make it out, and he's destroyed. All right.
That was the second accident.
Well, the first accident was that he was on the track. And so let's talk about Sid's rival. So we have a person, his name is Malegi, right? So
and he is, apparently Sid owes him money. So now she has to pay up her debts. And Malegi just comes with a whole band of people. And he says, "Hello, Sid. Time to pay up." Right. So that's the dynamic for them for the first episode.
Okay. Well, so Malegi, all right? Voiced by another great character actor named Ernie Hudson, one of the original Ghostbusters. Yeah, very cool. So they have a history, Malegi and Sid. And that they have a history because Malegi is the first time we have ever heard Sid's full name, right? And it's Sidarin Scaleback. Sidarin, not Sidarin. Sidarin Scaleback, all right? So that's his name, Sidarin Scaleback. So the two of them, he's very shady as well. He has a driver that he bets on. And so now the two of them are in a wager to see which of the drivers is going to win this race, all right? So back to TAY-O. TAY-O is on the track. He's racing the track. Malegi's driver actually destroys the ship. And as they come out of the tunnel, you see the ship is destroyed, and so is TAY-O.
Boom.
Right. Okay. So clearly, TAY-O loses the race. Malegi comes back to collect, and Sid says, "Well, I'm good for it. I don't have the money right now.
I'll give it to you later."
Right.
That's what she says. And then he decides, no, pay up now.
Exactly.
But Omega steps in and saves Sid, and she says, double or nothing. You win, you get Sid. We win, we get Sid. Like you win, you get the credits as well. But if they win, they get Sid.
Right.
And here we are, thinking Omega is going to pull an Anakin Skywalker and win the pod race. And then Tech's like, "I will fly the ship." And I'm like,
oh, is that what you were thinking? That maybe she was going to try to...
We were both thinking the same thing.
Well, how do you know what I was thinking?
Because you said so.
I don't remember. Wait a minute. I said that Omega was going to fix the race?
Yes, we both said the same thing.
I don't, Keith.
Doi.
You're taking words out of my mouth.
Doi.
I don't think I ever said that.
All right. Not be putting words in your mouth.
Well, maybe you are. Yes. Well, that's not true. I had no thought of that happening.
Yes, you did.
No. Well, okay. So here's what Well, let me say this about Omega. Yeah, I find it funny that Omega, comes up to Malegi, this, tall
Huge dude.
beast, right? And she says, double or nothing. And then you saw the look that Sid gave her, like, what are you talking about? Double or nothing? Like, calm down. That's Sid's doing, right? Because wasn't Sid the one that actually taught Omega how to gamble? Do you remember there was an episode in last season?
I remember that because like they were doing that thing because Omega knew exactly how to win the game, and Sid was having her win repeatedly over and over against different people.
Yes, right. So she was actually betting on Omega at one point. So it was funny that Omega
she had Omega bet for other people.
Yeah, well, that's true, but Omega was in the game money to win money for Sid, right? So that
didn't get any, mind you.
I thought that was pretty funny. That Sid's expression when Omega said double or nothing, pretty cool. All right, Q&A. All right, let's see who's here.
All right,
okay,
Alex, good to see you.
Hey, Alex. All right, good to see you. All right.
Excited to hear your thoughts on episode 4 and the Mando trailer.
Yes.
Smiley face emoji.
Yes.
Smiley.
Yeah, we would definitely talk about the Mando trailer. All right, thank you.
That's coming soon at the end of the episode.
Yes. Yeah. Well, yeah. Let's finish up with episode 4. So right. Okay. So Alex, the race reminded me of the Phantom Menace race and how dangerous it was. Yes,
True.
exactly. That's a good point you brought up, Alex, because this the inspiration of these races that you see on film or television, they're inspired. There were movies that came before the Bad Batch. Obviously, like you have the Phantom Menace, and the Phantom Menace was inspired by movies like Gladiator and Ben-Hur that had chariot races, right? Where the idea is people are competing to win this race, and sometimes they have to take out their opponents, and yeah. So it's always thrilling.
That's great.
It's always thrilling to watch these kind of races, because you
never know who wins. I mean, you kind of do because it's a classic hero story and whatnot, but you never do know.
Yeah, I mean, it's you've seen this time and time again in different films, throughout the years. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Yeah, that was pretty good. All right, so yes, so once again, Tech is trying to talk some sense into this droid TAY-O and tell him what he needs to do. He needs to have a strategy. TAY-O is not having it.
He's like, oh, you silly human.
Yeah,
he's all up here.
Right. He's so hung up on, how much he knows. He thinks he's better than the clone. And he doesn't even see that racing car or a racer that knocks him. Right. And knocks him out over and out. So he's down.
Lays my man out cold.
Right. Yes, right. One with the spice, he's not coming back. So I mean, when they looked at him, he was in pieces, and they knew, okay, well,
the second time he was in pieces.
Right.
That episode.
The second time,
TAY-O couldn't go a full day without being exploded into spice and sand.
So he was in 2 accidents.
He's one
got run over twice. Yes. So here comes Malegi, like, oh well, see what happened to your raider. So exactly,
he went villager mode. He went like villager from Minecraft. Time to pay up, Sid.
Yeah, right. You forfeit the race.
Give me the money. You forfeit.
And guess what? Guess who steps up? Tech. Tech says, "I'll run the race." Right. Never raced before, but he's going to run the race. Okay,
he knows it, which reminds me.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I was just thinking, since Tech knows all this stuff, couldn't you just like plug the cord into TAY-O or something and uploaded all that data from his data pad into TAY-O so he knew the exact layout of the course and could easily win since he's a droid and the other racers are human players? Therefore, he would have more intellect and intelligence than them because his intellect can be easily remodeled, modified, remedied. He can basically change these things, and the other players can't because they're like,
they don't have someone like Tech. Yeah,
they can't just get data injections.
Interesting. Yeah, that's very good. That it seems complicated to do that. You know what I mean?
It's not. All it takes is an iPad, a data pad,
right?
Cord, and a droid. That's all it takes.
Interesting. Okay, I don't know why Tech didn't think of that himself.
3 ingredients. This is not 3. 3 ingredients. But
the 3 ingredients again is what?
A data pad, cord, and a droid.
Wow. Okay. All right.
3.
Something to think about. Yeah, I think TAY-O was just too into himself to even bother to have
Arrogant
any
brash droid.
have any.
The brash droid got bashed.
Yeah.
Brash got bashed.
So all right, so Tech is going to run this race. So this is the funny part, when they're introducing the drivers, all of them have these wrestler names, So I thought
Or
it was,
these nicknames at least.
yeah, they're nicknames. They just sound like something out of WWE. So here we got Jet Venom, Bosco the Mad Bomber Bricks, Steel Claw Kane, Vicious Vid Centauri, Haxon the War Gnome, Tarjanix, Hyperrod, Quick Draw Quasar, the Trickster, Flash Raptor, and Tech. Tech. So Tech, okay, all right, yeah,
bruh, he's just like Tech, just Tech,
Tech. Like,
is that his real name?
Does anybody know who this guy is?
Do y'all know who he is?
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Like,
So
kind of confused. Like, oh, I guess he must be a late entry.
Right. So here goes the race. So the race. Let me tell you something about the race and the sound effects, the visuals, and the music.
Ooh, especially that tunnel scene.
Oh, it was gorgeous. I mean, like if you
when I watched that the second time, it was hitting different.
Yes. That
scene was hitting different.
I was listening, through my headphones, and it's like amazing,
immersive
amazing sound. Absolutely. I mean, everything just went together. I mean, the music,
the Beats headphones. So I mean, everything's immersive audio.
Well, yeah, it does. I don't think it really matters what headphones you got to have a good set of headphones. Yes, but it was wonderful to listen to. Just that scene of the race and the tunnels and the visuals. When they get into the tunnels, how fast they go, and the sounds of the racers. It was wonderful. So, all right. So, needless to say, Tech wins the race. Okay.
Of course he did.
Yeah, by using strategy.
He used his intellect.
He did. He noticed that he felt that the racer was too heavy because it had weapons. So he decided to release the weapons so that he can move faster. Right. Strategy, right?
It was crazy, but it worked.
Yeah, exactly.
Because as we know in the history of Star Wars, crazy always outvalues being reasonable.
Alex, laugh out loud. It was funny how surprised the announcer when he announced Tech. Question: if Tech came up with a nickname, which nickname do you think he should have?
Tech the Brains.
I don't think it's as vicious as the other names. Not intimidating enough. So we got to give him something. Although he's not an intimidating person.
Tech Datapad or something like that.
Yeah. How about Tech Brainbuster? That might be.
Bro, that went from 0 to 50.
Okay, all right.
Really fast.
Tech Brainbuster. All right, okay.
Brainbuster.
Thank you for the question, Alex. All right. So Tech wins the race, and he gets out, and everyone is cheering. He gets out of his racer, and he has that gladiator moment. I know you haven't seen Gladiator, but there's a scene when Maximus, he's a slave who's fighting for his freedom, so he has to compete in these races or these competitions, and then when he wins, his names gets shouted out by the spectators, Maximus. So here it was Tech. So that was pretty cool.
Tech.
Exactly. Yeah, that was pretty cool. So all right, so that's the second takeaway. So the third takeaway that we got from this episode is Sid cannot be trusted. All right.
Especially if you listen to what Malegi said last, right as the episode ended.
Exactly. Like I said, Malegi, they seem to have a history. And, when they were...
I'd like to see that explored.
Yeah. when they... I think while the race was going on, Malegi decided that he was going to keep Sid as collateral in case he loses.
In case she tried to pull any tricks on him.
Right. Yes. So... as the two of them are sitting and they're talking, and he mentioned something about how much he knows about her and how much do these people that are working for you know you. How well do they know you? Because I know you better than anybody, is what Malegi said. So so the race is over. Sid is bashful, and she says to Tech, well, you know what, I guess I owe you one. And Tech said, yes, you do. Right. So
Finally.
yes, exactly. So so the last scene is that they head back to Malegi's place.
To go
They
pick up Sid.
will get Sid and get paid. Um, um, as they're walking out the door to head back to Ord Mantell, Sid is walking first. She's walking ahead. And then Tech and Wrecker, we didn't mention Wrecker at all, but Wrecker was in
He
this
did.
episode.
He was there.
Yeah. So Tech, Wrecker, and Omega are walking behind Sid.
And then Maleki kind of stops him.
Yeah, go ahead.
And then he says, you could have walked away. That loyalty is admirable. But with Sid, it doesn't always go both ways. Watch your backs.
Watch your backs.
So now we know. Sid is untrustworthy.
Yes. Yeah.
And we already knew that, kind of.
True.
I mean, that is not the first, but the second time they had to save her from someone. Because remember that dude from season 1 who tried to take over her cantina?
Yes, I do. Right. He was sitting in her seat.
Yeah, what was his name?
I don't remember. He was a Deveronian, right? Because he had the horns. Yeah.
Didn't one of them get shot off or something?
Yes, that's true. Or
that's just something that happens to Deveronians, I think.
And it doesn't.
They always lose a horn.
Yeah, and it doesn't grow back, right? I guess it's just
could get prosthetics.
Broken,
but I mean,
maybe.
I don't think that hurts though, because it's not really. It's like hair. Like if you cut your hair, it's not gonna hurt.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
So I don't think that part hurts.
No, I got you. Yeah. So I mean, that's somebody who's just like I said, just as shady as Sid is telling you not to trust her or watch your back.
He seems shady-er.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the catalyst to get the
ball rolling so that the Batch can finally get free from Sid's grasp and do something.
Right. I worry though that if or when they decide to leave Sid,
it's gonna cause some blowback.
What is she gonna do? Like, is she going to retaliate? Was she going to tell the Empire? Which I don't think she will, because
I don't think she'll go as far as to contact the Empire.
Okay.
I just think she might follow up, something like that.
Okay. Because she is not one of the people who are living,
she's not like she's in good faith with the Empire.
Right? She's not living
public contact.
She's not living a pure life, and she doesn't want to have, the Empire to, take notice of her operation, what she does for a living, because as soon as they know, how much money is going through. Okay. How much money is going through this saloon or cantina, they might try to shut her down or maybe ask for a cut of her money. So, Sid doesn't want to bring the Empire any attention, but she's going to do something. If they decide to leave, she's not going to be happy with it. So we'll see what happens. All right. Keith will be back, but we will continue. So that is pretty much the episode of episode 4 of Faster. We can move into talking about The Mandalorian, but before we do that, let me know if you have any questions or comments. Do we have any Q&A that we want to? Okay. So let's move ahead. So Monday, we got a new trailer for The Mandalorian season 3. It dropped during the football game late Monday night, and we watched it. So I'll give you my take on it, and then when Keith gets back, he'll talk about his take. But from what I gather from the trailer is that I can see we're just starting to talk about the Mandalorian trailer. So I'm going to give my take. What I get out of it is that Mando and Grogu are going on 2 different journeys. They're going to go. I don't expect that they're going to be together for most of the season. I think
I do, but then again, if you notice, in a lot of the trailer shots, Grogu isn't there. Like Mando and the other Mandalorians, but you don't see Grogu.
True. So right.
I wonder if he's like on the ship or something, or maybe since we saw Mando stop at Grief Kargas, maybe he's dropping Grogu off for some free babysitting.
So are you?
So they can go to Mandalore.
Are you agreeing with me that you think that they're going to be separated throughout the season, or you think
not necessarily?
Not necessarily.
I just think for an episode or 2.
Okay. Well,
just so Mando can have his own adventure real quick, and then Grogu will come back.
Okay. Well, to me, I think this season is going to be about their journey, right? I do. Mando has he has a journey that he has to fulfill for himself. He needs to know exactly what does it mean to be a Mandalorian, right? And he's going to have to find out. It sounds like he's going to follow the advice of the armorer and go back to Mandalore and atone his sins for whatever she referred to as, if you removed your helmet, you have to go back and
but I don't know what kind of
ask
mumbo
for
jumbo
forgiveness.
this is.
Well,
The Mandalorian's name is literally the Mandalorian.
mhm.
Are you kidding?
Well, exactly right. So that's why my point is that he needs to find out who he needs to be. What does being a Mandalorian mean to him? Because it has a different meaning to the armorer. There's a different meaning to it for Bo-Katan. So he needs to know for himself. What is who is he? Who is he? Who does he need to be? What does he need to represent? So we see that. And as far as Grogu, so what does that mean for Grogu? What is Grogu doing while Mando's trying to find himself? I still believe that we're going to see Luke, and just from that last shot of the trailer where there's this monster, right, jumps in front of the cave and Grogu pushes. You just can't do that. You have to be taught how to use the Force, right? How to control it. Right?
I think maybe there's been a little more time passed in between Mando season 2 and the Book of Boba Fett than we think.
No, I didn't think about that.
That way, maybe Grogu could still have enough training to not have to go back.
I didn't think about that. That's a point. That's a good point. There could have been there could be a time gap between.
Because we know they're close.
Yeah.
But it could have been a few months, even a year or something.
Because
that would still fit into the canon.
Okay.
As well as make sense.
Interesting.
Because I feel like Luke gave Grogu the option to leave, and he picked it. Even though it took some consideration, he did pick to go back to his father. So I don't see why he would return back to Luke, especially not so soon.
Okay. Yeah. So let us know.
Questions,
comments? We'll continue to talk a little bit more about The Mandalorian, but if you have any comments or questions about the trailer, let us know. Grogu is on his own journey as well. He needs to find out who he wants to be or who he needs to be. So I think he's going to need someone like Luke or maybe Ahsoka
to have a guiding hand.
Yeah, absolutely to guide him, because he has this skill, or he has this he has something that is not many people have, right? He's a gift. I'm sorry?
Just thought of something.
Yeah, go ahead.
So you remember those Jedi we saw in that trailer?
Yes, like a flashback.
So possibly that's some of Grogu's Order 66 memories?
Yes, actually, Alex just brought that up.
I was about to say that.
Yeah.
Because maybe it's like him having flashbacks from when he was a youngling. Although I believe he would have been about 15 at the time, as Grogu is currently 50 years old.
It's about right, yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
So about that, he was a youngling, I think. So maybe those are his memories of what happened and how he escaped.
Yeah.
Alex says, I love the trailer. I too am intrigued. Sorry, let me comment. It's gone.
No, that's right.
I too am intrigued by Mando's trailer. I'm curious about what we'll learn about Grogu's Order 66 memories and if it's related to the last scene with his battle with the monster.
Interesting.
Maybe that was him in hiding or something.
Yeah, I don't know. That's a very good question.
Or would he have been in the pod? And also, how did he end up in that destroyed-looking town?
Well,
from the first season when Mando found him, how did he end up there then?
Well, there's those questions that we don't know the answers to. We'll have to find out.
And more importantly, who saved him? Because Grogu, at 50 years old, is not that fast. Like, he's super small, and he can't walk that quickly.
That's a very good point. I think we'll find out. Yeah.
So you think someone must have saved him.
So
it wouldn't have been Ahsoka. It wouldn't have been Luke. Also wouldn't have been Ezra. Maybe Cal Kestis or something. I don't know.
Interesting.
So possibly even, I'm trying to think of who's around. Like Obi-Wan or Yoda?
Well, Yoda, I'm not sure, but you have a very good point. We don't know who it's going to be, but yes, someone is going to save him. I noticed that, the Jedi, there were maybe 4 of them that were heading towards this door, and it looked like someone was coming through the door. Who do you think it could be that's coming through the door? I've heard
clones.
The clones, right? I heard could also be Vader.
I highly
Any
doubt
possible,
it,
or
to be
maybe
fair.
Anakin, because Anakin wasn't Vader quite yet.
Because you remember in Reva's flashbacks, she saw Vader.
Well, she
But-
saw Anakin, right?
Okay, Anakin.
Yeah, right. You know, when after, yeah.
So Andor then, because he's Anakin and Vader.
Andor,
Not to be
right.
confused with Andor.
Not
Andor.
right, exactly, Andor. Well, yeah. So it could be Anakin. It could be the clones, like you said. Yeah.
Or maybe it's Anakin and the clones.
Okay. Yeah. Right. Because they march together,
follow
right?
him, they
Yeah. Sure.
flank him.
Absolutely.
I feel like Anakin wouldn't charge alone.
Matthew, thank you for joining. Matthew Rudoy. I was surprised to see functioning battle droids in the trailer. What role do you think they'll play this season?
Did you catch those?
No, I did not see any battle droids in the trailer.
Neither did I.
That's very interesting.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, I'll need to go back and take a look at the trailer.
We gotta rewatch that.
We weren't
paying close enough attention. We gotta break it down at 0.25x speed.
Yeah, I thought I was. I did not see that. That's interesting. Why would battle droids?
Well, we just saw Desix, but to be fair, that was a lot closer to the age of the battle droids.
Exactly. That's many years before the Mandalorian.
But you know ROTR, right? Roger from the Freemaker Adventures.
Yeah.
He's still activating, even during the Resistance time.
Interesting.
So he's been around for years, for almost a century.
All right. Well, if that's the case that they were in the trailer, like how much longer are they going to hang around? Because you don't see them in the sequel trilogy.
I know, but that's because during the sequel and original trilogies, battle droids weren't really invented yet. Mm-hmm. They had stormtroopers. Battle droids were exclusive to the prequels era.
Okay. All right. Yes. Time for Q&A. All right. So
Alex,
yes.
Q+, do you think Mando and the Armorer will reconcile or have more conflicts / an even greater rift this season? I don't even think Mando cares anymore.
Well, no, I think he does. That's the reason why he's going.
I mean about what the Armorer says. I know he's going to Mandalore, but I don't think he's going to care enough to pay her a visit again.
Yeah.
I mean, he's already got his armor. He's got his Beskar armor. He still has the Beskar spear. He's got the Darksaber. He's got the blasters. And more importantly, he's heading back to Mandalore, so I don't see the need for him to go and visit again.
Yeah. Are you done?
Yeah.
Yeah. There is a lot of unrest with the Mandalorians.
I feel like after...
Yeah, I don't think many of them are getting along with each other. It's like there's a civil war going on between, their people.
After Satine's death, I think everything just kind of fell to blazes.
Right. I don't know. I do at some point believe that the Mandalorian will still continue to follow, Din Djarin will still continue to follow the armor up to a point. But I think, she
there might be a breaking point at some point.
Right. And she may be in a position where she's going to be very difficult to please. Nothing that he does is going to be right, even after he atones for his sins, taking off his helmet. And, he's going to have more conversation with Bo-Katan. She takes off her helmet all the time. So he's going to have to choose,
Because the thing is, most of Bo-Katan's scenes are without the helmet.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly, right.
So if you think about it, they certainly have different meanings of quote unquote being Mandalorian.
Right, yeah. So, up to a point, I think he'd be okay with following the armor's orders, but, it may not go over very well for too long. There were one other thing I wanted to bring up. Carson Teva, all right, he works for the Republic. Remember, he was the person.
Oh, I remember him for the Clone Wars episode.
Well, and he was in the episode, the Boba Fett episode where Din Djarin got the N1 Starfighter. He was testing it out and he got pulled over.
That was he
was one of the He was one of the New Republic.
Oh, I'm getting people mixed up.
Right.
Sorry, not him.
Who pulled?
That's a different dude. That was the investigator from when that dude passed away. The senator on Anaconda Far. Anaconda Far. That's a different person though.
Yeah, I don't remember offhand. But anyway, so Carson Teva mentioned something about a threat that's coming. Is he talking about the First Order? because that would be the next threat, right? So since the Empire,
There may be some sort of small Imperial remnant that's like growing in power, like the last of the Empire. Because even
yeah,
once Vader and Palpatine were dead,
perished. Yeah,
there still were Imperials all around the galaxy.
good point.
So
Right.
maybe some of them managed to unite, form a
Yeah.
bigger band, collect more people to work for them, and then struck.
Mhm.
And maybe this is sort of what becomes the First Order, whatever's left during the battle.
Right. Right.
Also, Rangers of the New Republic. I don't know. That show kind of fell through, but do you think we might see some actual New Republic Rangers?
I don't know.
And maybe even Cara Dune? Because I feel like the response to what she said was a little overkill.
That's all right. That's fine. I
don't want to get into that though.
No, that's okay. I wouldn't mind seeing a Rangers of the New Republic series if Cobb Vanth maybe was involved.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Yeah,
we
got to get the
his
Marshal
current
back.
state. I think we might see him in season 3, but
yeah.
last time we saw him, he was in a back to tank getting shoulder plates or something.
That's true, right?
I didn't know it was that serious to get shot in the shoulder with
right.
a blaster bolt, but overkill.
Yeah, and one last thing, right? So there's one other thing. So remember, if you are a fan of The Mandalorian, let's just say,
we are Mando fans.
For argument's sake, talking in general, if you're a fan of The Mandalorian and you did not watch the Book of Boba Fett, the last time you saw The Mandalorian was the last season of episode of season 2, where Mando gives Grogu to Luke, right? Mm-hmm. So you saw that father and son separated, right? Now all of a sudden you're looking at the trailer for season 3 and they're back together. So there's kind of a confusion.
Fett, they came back
together. Well, right, but if you didn't watch the Book of Boba Fett, you wouldn't know that. I think that would cause some kind of confusion for some Mandalorian fans. So I was thinking, like, how could you resolve that? If you didn't see the Book of Boba Fett, rather than go back and say, hey, just go watch the episodes. Well, if they say, well, I don't want to. I mean, I'm a Mandalorian fan. So would they have to maybe do like at the beginning of the opening credits, it maybe do like a recap of season 2 and include those scenes from the Book of Boba Fett, right? Mm-hmm. I think that's the way to do it.
All right, time for Q&A. Who do we have up next?
Yes, what do we have? Okay.
Alex, great questions. I'm not sure which new characters will appear, but I think themes of identity and dogma and principles versus flexibility/pragmatism, as well as healing from trauma, will be explored.
Oh boy!
Ooh, what a mouthful! Read that in one breath.
Right.
Yeah, I believe so too.
And here's another question for you out there. Do you think we will see a cameo of Ahsoka and Sabine?
I do. I feel like it's just been too long since we've gotten more Ahsoka news.
Yeah.
And it's supposed to come out this year. So, I'm waiting.
Right. Yeah. We had that conversation already. We have another Q&A coming up, but we did have that conversation where this would be the perfect opportunity to have Sabine at least, show a cameo appearance to get her ready for Ahsoka. Right. So Matthew wrote, I hope Din realizes that he doesn't have to atone for his transgression. How about that? I hope he realizes there was. Go ahead. Read it at the same time. No, you go ahead. You want us to read it at the same time?
Yes.
Okay, here we go. All right. I hope Din realizes that he doesn't have to atone for his transgression.
I hope he realizes there is nothing wrong with taking his helmet off for Grogu. Yes,
I agree
Grogu
with
is a 50-year-old baby. That sounds weird to say, but I feel like when he lives to be 900 years old, like Yoda did, he won't remember that. Because that was 850 years ago.
Yeah, I'm in absolutely agreement with you, Matthew.
Mando, but I just don't think he'll remember the small detail of him taking his helmet off. And more importantly, for a young child alien, like I don't see how it's that massive. I mean, then again, he did take it off to scan that sensor in season 2.
He took it off a couple of times. Yes, he did.
But that was different because he had to do that.
Well, right. Exactly.
And no one really saw him anyway. It was a stormtrooper helmet. He wasn't in Mandalorian armor.
That's true. When he took off his helmet the first 2 times I remember, well,
I remember
IG-88.
the second time because he said he's not supposed to remove his helmet for people in IG-88. It's like I'm not a person, so
Exactly.
that don't count either.
That doesn't count, right? Right. And he removes his helmet to eat, obviously.
Well, I mean, duh, it doesn't look like there's like a mouth hole in that helmet.
You're right.
How is he supposed to eat? Is Mando just supposed to like telepathically look at the food and be like,
right?
Good dinner at the
But
end.
Matthew, you
Good
have
soup.
you have a very good point. I think this, he's going to feel that removing the helmet is or not removing the helmet is nonsense. That's just it's
like what? Like this whole thing is like
it's a ritual.
Don't remove your helmet in front of people.
Right.
Well, if you're in front of people for the next 24 hours, do you want to just starve or do you want to actually eat something?
Well,
because if there's like people you can't get away from, hi dad, hi mom, that you live with, and you're supposed to not take your helmet off at all.
Okay.
I don't know where we're going there.
All right. Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
I'm done.
Aiden, yay. All right. Good to see you, Aiden. Thank you for joining us again. Yeah.
It's about to be a good day.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
We are live streaming.
Yes, we are. We are live streaming. Is anything else you want to talk about the trailer? Did we miss anything?
I think that's it.
Yeah, I think that's all I wanted to cover. Yeah, I'm definitely have to go back and look for those battle droids. I missed that. I need to see that again. All right. Okay. All right. So, all right. So that is our review of episode 4 and, a brief review of the Mandalorian trailer. Make sure if there is any more Q&A, we'll cover that very shortly.
I don't think so. I think we're good.
Okay. So for next week, of course, we'll be back for season 5. Episode 5. Yes, we'll be back.
If there was a season 5 of the Bad Batch, though, we'd still be here.
Oh, we'll watch every single episode. We'll be back for episode 5 next week. We're still cooking up some things, that we can't talk about right now, but we've got some plans that we're putting together for you, and we'll keep you updated. So please continue to like this video, obviously, and subscribe to our channel to keep up to date with all of our content.
By the way, for any sorry, let me start over. If you'd like to check out what we're doing, what we're cooking up soon, you can check out our YouTube community page in which we talk about all these things. So if you'd like to listen to us, we're at Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, Good Pods, Radio Public, Amazon Music, Audible, Overcast. Did I say Google Podcasts? I think I
you just did.
Okay, now I did.
Yeah.
So you can listen to us there as well. Tomorrow we're releasing a new Lego build at our usual live stream slot time. So you can see that then. And our socials, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Fathers of Galaxy. Website, fathersofgalaxy.com. Merch store, fathersofgalaxy.myspreadshop.com. Check out the merch there. And please visit our Spreaker page as well.
Okay. All right. Very good. All right.
Wait, did I do something wrong?
No. Actually, I had a thought, but
you did. Yeah, go.
That's fine. No, that's
go.
All right.
Speak, man.
No. It's good. It's good. That's right. We're fine. Very good. Just want to make sure that we didn't have any more comments or questions.
No, we don't. We're good.
Okay, we're good. All right. So before we go, just want to wish a couple happy birthdays. So yesterday, the 17th of January, was the legendary James Earl Jones's birthday. He turned
92nd birthday.
92 years old. So wonderful. So
legendary.
Happy birthday. Yes, wonderful. Happy birthday to James Earl Jones. And happy birthday to one of our buddies from Boraxium, Dan
our great
Miller.
Friends.
Exactly. So we wanted to shout out Dan and wish him a happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Well. That's right. Happy birthday, Dan. So, enjoy. I hope you enjoyed your birthday. So we really do appreciate
enjoying this form around.
Yep. That's true. There's still some time left.
4 hours and 34 minutes to be precise.
There you go. So we're
as of right now.
We really enjoyed the Boraxium. They're like family to us. So thank you so much to Dan and Chris and the crew. So that's it. All right. So we're done. Okay. Anything else? So I think that's it.
Well, except go check out Boraxium's channel as well. It's got lots of great content there.
Oh, very cool. Very cool. Thank you. All right, everyone. So we will be back next week for episode 5. But until next time, take care and
And
we
we
will
will
see
see
you
you
again.
again.